What if taking care of yourself actually helped you show up better for everyone else? I'm Janet Jacks, Coach Janet J, and this is your next best step. This podcast is about real doable shifts that help you breathe easier and move forward one step at a time. If you've been carrying the weight of too much for too long and waiting for things to calm down before you start caring for yourself, this is your sign. The time is now. Let's begin where you are. You were made for more than just surviving. Hey there, welcome back. Today is Friday, January 9th, and some people call this Quitter's Day. If your one word from episode 33 already feels forgotten, or if that daily walk from episode 34 fell off the rails already, I need you to know something really important. You are not alone. And more than that, you have not failed. Today is not about beating yourself up. It is about making your habits fit your real life. So what exactly is Quitter's Day? Well, a few years ago, Strava, a fitness tracking app, did something fascinating. They analyzed hundreds of millions of user-logged workouts and noticed a clear pattern. Motivation drops dramatically in mid-January. They even dubbed it Quitter's Day. In one wildly cited release, they pointed to January 19th as the big slip point, where workout uploads tanked. Bottom line, mid-January is where motivation tends to wobble. For us, this second Friday in January, January 9th, is a perfect checkpoint. We are right in the middle of what researchers call the danger zone. Here is the thing. By mid-January, a huge chunk of people have already fallen off their resolutions, especially with fitness habits. Research led by psychologist John Norcross has found that resolution success drops over time. In one study, about 46% were still successful at 6 months. In another, longer follow-up, only 19% maintained changes at 2 years. So yes, the struggle you are feeling is real. Here's what I want you to understand. The struggle is not proof you are broken. It is proof that most resolutions are set up to fail from the start. Let me tell you about a client. We'll call her Maria. At the beginning of the year, she made this elaborate plan. Wake up earlier, meal prep every Sunday, exercise 5 days a week, journal daily, read her Bible for 30 minutes every morning. By January 15th, she was doing exactly none of it. You know what she told me? Well, I guess I'll try again next year. Next year. She wrote off 11 and a half months of potential growth because she thought struggle meant she was done. She believed that if it felt hard, she must be doing it wrong. So she quit. What Maria didn't understand then, and does now, is that the 2 to 3 week wall is normal. It is predictable. The struggle is your brain saying, hey, this new thing requires a lot of energy and I'm designed to conserve energy. Can we find an easier way? Your brain is protecting you from burnout. And that is actually a gift when you know how to work with it instead of against it. So here's the problem. When the novelty wears off and real life kicks in, most of us assume that struggle means we failed. We think if this was the right goal, it would feel easier by now. But that is not how behavior change works. Research consistently shows that the first 2 to 3 weeks are when most people hit what I call the wall. It is the moment when your brain realizes, oh, this isn't just a fun experiment. This is real life now. and the friction kicks in. In the first few days of January, motivation comes from novelty. Everything feels fresh and possible. But by week 2 or 3, your brain is like, okay, but do we still have to do this? Even when it's cold outside? Even when we're tired? Even when life is messy? And that is when most people quit. What if we renamed Quitter's Day to Checkpoint Day? Instead of asking, why did I fail? What if we asked, what's working? What feels too big? What is one way I can make this easier to do? When you adjust your habit to make it sustainable, you are using wisdom. You are learning to work with your real life instead of fighting against it. Let me share what the research really tells us. Strava's analysis of hundreds of millions of workouts showed that by mid-January, activity levels drop significantly. Here's what's interesting. It's not because people suddenly become lazy. It is because most resolutions require too many behavior changes at once. Research led by psychologist John Norcross found that while 46% of resolution makers were still successful at 6 months, only 19% maintained their changes at 2 years. But when researchers looked deeper, they found the people who succeeded had a few things in common. They started small. They had clear triggers for their habits, and they gave themselves permission to adjust without abandoning everything. This is not just about resolutions. It is about how humans change behavior. New behaviors cost more mental effort and self-control at first. So resistance is completely normal. Early motivation comes from excitement and novelty. But sustained change, that comes from making new behaviors so easy, so connected to your existing life that your brain stops resisting them. The 2 to 3 week wall is a widespread human pattern. So it is proof you are normal. When you hit the wall and interpret it as a failure, it affects every part of you. Mentally, you start the story of, I always quit. You start to believe you are someone who isn't able to follow through. That narrative becomes your identity. Emotional, shame creeps in, discouragement, a deep sense of what is wrong with me. You pull away from the very things and people that could help you because you feel too embarrassed to admit you are struggling. Physical, you drop the helpful habits altogether instead of adjusting for them. That walk you started, gone. That water bottle you were carrying, back in the cupboard. All or nothing thinking means you get nothing. Spiritual, you think, if I can't keep a simple resolution, how can God use me? How can God use someone who fails at everything? And so you pull away from the one who never condemns you for being human. This is where scripture meets us with such beautiful grace. Listen to Galatians 6:9. Let us not become weary in doing good, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up. Did you catch that? Let us not become weary. Paul acknowledges that weariness is a part of the journey. He is not saying you should never struggle. He is saying when the struggle comes, and it will, don't give up. The phrase doing good in Greek is kalon poiointes. I hope I said that right. It includes the idea of good works, but also the process of becoming good, of growing. It's not about perfection. It is about staying in the process, even when it is hard. And then, at the proper time, not on your timeline, not according to your New Year's calendar, according to God's perfect timing, the harvest comes. It comes when you are ready to receive it, not when you white knuckled your way through a rigid resolution. If we do not give up, the word there is ekleo. I hope I pronounced that right. It means to loosen, to relax, to become faint or exhausted. Paul is saying, don't let your weariness cause you to let go completely. Adjusting is not giving up. Pivoting is not quitting. Making your habit smaller so you can actually sustain it, that is wisdom. God invites you to come to Him weary and receive rest. He walks with you in your imperfect, wobbling attempts at growth. Here's what I want you to do. I call it a 3-step pivot. It's simple, doable, and it can save your entire year. Step 1, shrink it. Take your habit and make it almost laughably small. I am serious. If your resolution was to walk 30 minutes every day, shrink it to 5 minutes. If it was to read your Bible for an hour, shrink it to 1 verse. If it was to cook healthy meals every night, shrink it to adding 1 vegetable to whatever you are already making. The goal is to make it so easy that your brain stops fighting you. You're not lowering the bar permanently. You are making it possible to show up consistently, which is actually what creates change. Step 2, tie it. Attach your habit to something you already do every single day without thinking. This is called habit stacking, and it is one of the most powerful tools for behavior change. For example, after I pour my first cup of coffee, I will read 1 Bible verse. Or after I brush my teeth at night, I will write down 1 thing I am grateful for. Or after I take my vitamins, I will do 5 minutes of stretching. The key is the word after. You are not adding something random to your day. You are tying it to an existing behavior that already happens automatically. Step 3, grace it. Here is the new rule. Missing a day does not mean you start over next January. Your reset moment is the next opportunity, not the next year. If you miss Monday's walk, your reset is Tuesday morning. If you forget your gratitude practice for 3 days, your reset is the moment you remember. There is no, I've already blown it, so I may as well quit. That story is over. The new story is, I am learning to be consistent, and consistency does not mean perfection. It means I keep coming back. I know this might feel too simple. You might be thinking, but Janet, I wanted to run a 5K. 5 minutes of walking is not going to get me there. And you are right. It won't get you there this week. But you know what will get you there eventually? Showing up for 5 minutes today and tomorrow and next week. Because that builds the identity of someone who shows up. And once that identity is established, increasing the time becomes natural. The people who succeed at behavior change do not have more willpower than you. They just learn to work with their brains instead of against them. Showing up again, even in a tiny way, is evidence of growth. Adjusting your approach when something isn't working, that is maturity. The research is clear. Sustainable change happens through small, repeated actions, not giant leaps that leave you exhausted by week 2. So here is what I want you to do today, right now, before this episode ends. Think about the habit or resolution that's been feeling too hard. And I want you to rewrite it using this structure. After blank, I will blank for 5 minutes. Fill in those blanks. Make it specific. Make it small. Make it connected to something you already do. And then I want you to do it today, just once. Not because you're starting a 365-day streak, just because you are proving to yourself that you did not quit. You pivoted. Quitter's Day is just a data point. It is not your destiny. You can rewrite this day as checkpoint day, as pivot day, as the day you learned to work with your brain instead of fighting it. If you want some extra support with this, share your tiny habit. Tell a friend. Today is checkpoint day, not quitter's day. Text someone and know you're adjusting. You're not abandoning. You are human and you are learning. I'll see you back here on Monday for the next episode. Until then, remember, start where you are. Take small steps. And you deserve your version of wellness. All right, you've got your next step. Small, doable, and real. If this inspired you, make sure to grab your free 5-minute daily reset at yournextbeststep.com. It's my gift to help you pause the chaos and reconnect with what matters most. Be sure to subscribe. And if someone came to mind while you listened, please share this with them. Remember, you are seen, you are known, and you matter. Be kind to yourself along the way. You are making real change, one step at a time.